It really does. There's so many more interesting parts of the Forgotten Realms they could be exploring. Nope, fuck you, Sword Coast.
Okay, I just want to explain because it's not a major spoiler. One of the first groups that you run into is a druid circle who is hosting or unwillingly hosting a collection of tieflings, where it's like, hey, our village was just temporarily taken into the hells. We were infused with devil blood and we were turned into tieflings against our will. We had a chance to escape. We've run out and now we're just on the run to get up to Baldur's Gate and just escape and like just be good. Our characters went, you've got devil blood in you. We cannot trust you. I was like, no, that's not how it technically works. But we just went, nah, we will stand on these morally dark grounds and justify it to ourselves. Yeah.
But the interesting part there is that is in the game when you think about it.
It is in the game, and we used that level of thinking to basically go, we will not help these refugees. We will not help the druids. We're basically just going to open the gates for when they get attacked and just stand and watch as they're being attacked.
Did you side with the goblins and recruit the drow?
Absolutely. Now, this is my first playthrough. I've done nothing else. So I was like, oh boy, we lost most of our companions to that. We gained one. And later down the line, we also lost another one because we just couldn't be bothered to actually save her.
And which one was that one?
Lacelle.
Oh, yeah.
She got sacrificed, and we were like, oh. we actually, I think one of the reposts was like, we've lost nothing of value. Like, what threat were you trying to give to us? And they were like, what's wrong with you? I was like, don't care. Yeah, we've just surrendered to, morality at this point. Oh, wait, we're live. What? I've just been admitting to all these terrors to the internet. Thank you, Seraphis. Oh, well, what else is new?
He hasn't caught anybody with that since he moved to Restream, so he's really happy now.
Well, I've moved the stream over on the other screen so that while I'm just talking and reading, I was just thinking like, oh, we're probably going to be told like, oh, we're going to go live now, just keep talking, so I could, switch it over to something more constructive. But no, Seraphis, no. You had to turn around and be like, nah, here you are.
To be fair, I waited till Bear sat back down again, and then I basically hit live.
Yes, you did. Thank you. I appreciate. I was expecting you to just start without me.
No, I waited for everyone to be quote unquote sitting for the panel. So I'm polite that way.
Yeah,
but in every other way.
Well, fine. I'm polite like that to my friendly cunts, okay?
I will kill you!
Yeah.
Is anybody here? Is anybody watching us?
Who knows? Probably not. It is Easter, after all.
Unlikely.
Would you be watching?
Yeah, probably. But I was streaming, and I stopped my stream to come over and hang out with you.
Why?
Because I like hanging out with you.
Oh, you probably would have had more people on your stream.
It's not about people, it's about fun. Hey, Goths in Rome. I never see you on my channel anymore. Did I offend somehow, sir? I just presume I did. I just like, yeah, I probably offended someone. No. Oh, well.
Oh, it's Saxius. I was like, who is eating?
Munching. He's munching
in
away.
the mic.
Yeah.
Oh, why?
Because he likes the chips. They explode in his mouth.
Oh, thank you for telling me. I wouldn't know otherwise.
It was funny. All I was thinking to myself was, if this was like a Max Liao show, he'd be flipping out because he has like violent misophonia, right? So whenever someone's chewing, it just drives him insane. Oh, now Sarah's jumping in.
Why you guys do this to me?
I'm just
Well,
chewing
here's the-
gum.
It's just the whole sound. Okay. Oh.
Here's the thing, TNT. The moment
How are you with
admit-
drinking sounds, T? Good morning, as we all drive Tori insane.
she's on this panel, I
I'm
think
Brian
we've already.
Blessed. Let's drive her mad.
I just took my headphones off, so
So if you're talking shit, I can't hear you. Meh.
Now, just for the record, even though Max has invited me onto the GMI before, I know, even though I could probably contribute something to topics, I am way too much chaos that he would get driven insane by me.
Oh yeah, he loses shit, dude. Like he somehow magically adjusted to my chewing gum. I don't know what happened there, but he doesn't get pissed about it anymore. But he was really pissed the first couple of times I was chewing gum. So I try not to when I go on, but I can't help it sometimes. Sadly, I have a broken jaggy tooth in my lower jaw, and then sometimes just based on the way your jaw will move, it'll cut my tongue. So if I chew gum, it keeps my tongue away from it. So what are you gonna do? I was supposed to be off work this year, a whole year. Wow. But between a personal injury, family illness, and travel, I'm not getting a great deal of personal time for much. That sucks, dude. Sorry to hear that. How's your channel going? You guys still doing your channel, or did that stop as well?
to say I don't think I've seen an upload from them in quite some time.
Yeah.
So, Tori, what are you making? Or crochet? Is that crocheting?
This is
No,
cross
it's needlepoint.
stitch.
Cross stitch.
Oh, cross stitch. I thought it was needlepoint. Sorry.
Well, I guess technically it could be because embroidery and cross stitch I think are both considered needlepoint. So needlepoint's like the broad category, and cross stitch would be like the subcategory.
Right.
Okay,
And
make it.
this is a stitch along that I'm doing with Elizabeth. So we're both working on the same project. It's called Safety First. That's just the name of the art piece. And it's a dragon and like a gnome with like steampunk goggles and a magic shop. So this is just the upper corner that I've done so far. So this is
Does it require a dance?
what?
Does it require a dance?
No, what?
It
I
You
don't
know what I
Elaborate.
like Australians? It's very easy. You guys say dance like we do. You say dance like the British. I bet you say hawk too. What's the bird?
What?
H-A-W-K.
A hawk?
No, you say that like a Brit. Hawk. 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 It's a hawk. It's a hawk and a hawk.
I'm so confused. I got lost. I got totally lost.
Brits have a weird pronunciation of the A sometimes in words. So like we say dance, they say dance. Like it's just this weird, like it's a holdover from the French influence, I think, or the Norman influence. But they say hawk. It's a hawk, not a hawk, like we say in North America. But the Australians randomly pronounce things like Brits and randomly pronounce things like North Americans, and then constantly pronounce things like Australians, which is usually when like they just put their dick right into the language and just go, let's see what I can do. Fair dinkum. And there it is, Too right. It's just so weird. Your constant massacre of the English language in Australia is just impressive. Like it's, I know the British get all arsey about it, but as a Canadian, I'm like, damn, it's impressive how much you guys massacre that language.
Hey,
Bang, you made it.
At least we can still pronounce the th, so that we say three, not free.
Who says free?
The Poms. They've started
They
saying
say
free.
really?
Yeah,
They
they've
start
started
saying
saying
free?
they say free instead of 3.
That's more like a Cockney thing, though, isn't it? Or a London accent.
I'm pretty sure it's becoming a more common in London.
Well, there was an interesting article I read where they said due to the proliferation of BBC programming across all of the UK now, with the vast amount of it,
Mm.
the London accent is becoming a default British accent amongst the youth. Yeah, which is not good. Not good. That's all right. I'll talk like here's what we're gonna do. All right, I'll talk like a Canadian. You talk like an Aussie, and Sax will talk like a Dane living in the UK. Eh? That sounds pretty cool. And I don't know what the hell Tori. She's an American. I don't know what the hell they talk like. I don't know. It ain't English. That's for sure.
Superior English.
Cunt.
Well, I don't think he's right there, eh? Using the word like that around a lady. You might want to mind your P's and Q's there, boy.
Fucking
Imagine
A.
if I talked like that.
Good heavens.
Oh, wouldn't be able to live
Right.
with myself. It was like my grandmother was the influence on that. She was Irish, from Ireland, but she grew up and got educated and all that kind of stuff. So when we spoke inappropriately in the house, oh, we heard about it because we weren't allowed to talk like farmers. Essentially, was her mentality. Was like, you don't do that. Okay, sorry.
Still make fun of my grandpa because when he tries to say the word battery, he doesn't say battery. He says battery.
Battery. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where's he from?
Missouri. Grandma's from
Missouri?
St. Louis. He's from Missouri. Yeah.
Missouri.
Missouri.
Isn't the Danish accent just putting a potato in your mouth? Wow.
Yes, it is.
Shots fired.
Oh, it's quite true.
I like the Danish accent because you clip. I like that, the way you clip words. It's fun. Whereas, I don't like the Swedish accent because it's just so Swedish. Ooh. Everything has that new feel to it, Whereas the Danes clip words. You have a really sharp, sort of efficient way of speaking. I don't know the Norwegian accent to hear it by ear, though. Is it awful? Like Norway?
No, I wouldn't say it's like you still have like the Danish influence towards it. So it's like because it was ruled by Denmark longer than Sweden, you've got remnants of the Danish roots. Like Danes and Norwegians can understand each other closer than than I find than the Swedes. But
So you're saying basically Danes prefer Norges over Swedes?
That would be my personal view, yes.
Well, I mean, with the Swedish
I do not
accent,
speak for all of Denmark, but yes.
to be fair, with the Swedish, it's, hurdy-gurdy, hurdy-gurdy.
It is. Hurdy-gurdy person is for like this noise that comes out of their mouth. And then when they talk English, they do this. And it's like, what the fuck, buddy? Open your mouth, That's why I miss the mid-Atlantic accent, or what they used to call Canadian fancy, which is what, if you watch Star Trek Voyager, it's how Janeway talks, but she does it through her teeth. It's just this thing. Chakotay, we have to go to the planet. It's like, open your fucking mouth when you talk. Drives me up the wall, but I like that accent. I wish that accent hadn't died off. It was a good accent. It gave Americans a classy accent, which they desperately needed, because they do not have any classy. Like, there is no indigenous American accent that sounds classy. Not a one. Prove me wrong, Tori.
I am not gonna, because I can't. Because
Yep, exactly. There are all these weird, slurry, lazy-mouthed accents. Like it's a really weird thing with the American accents. They're also all about not using your mouth properly, right? And the British, well, they have the more posh you are, the less understandable you are. I mean, Jesus Christ, there's some it's my Uncle Roger. He's from fucking Southampton, but he's like he somehow picked up this weird posh accent in all his time in the Navy. He's like, and you're just like, Roger, what the fuck language are you speaking? It's clearly not English. Old Virginian? Who the fuck has an old Virginian accent anymore? Please.
Those remote towns in Appalachia.
Yeah, because when I think classy, I think Appalachia. Sorry, Appalachia.
I can't say anything. I'm not even knowledgeable enough about I just speak. I just speak.
And
No,
that
but your
works.
accent, Tori, is like very subtle. Like you have a very subtle accent. It's rare that you'll hit it hard. I have heard you once in a while hit it hard, but not often.
I don't.
Brian, sure, same thing.
Yeah, I don't think I have an accent though, so I wouldn't know how to.
No one
I-
thinks
I-
they have an accent.
Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that, so I don't know what that sounds like.
It's.
Like,
I know I have an accent. Every time I listen to my own voice, my accent drives me up the wall because I think it's weird.
To be fair, Sax, I find your accent to be a lot more pleasable than the Americans.
I am a very pleasable person.
Your accent, though, Sax, has like a bit of a like a. Is this a Bond villain? You know, like it has that feel to it. You know, like at what point are you going to tell Mr. Bond you expect him to die? You know, like really.
That's good.
But I love accents. I studied accents. I made a career out of accents. Most of my voice work was based around the fact that I could do accents. A lot of my acting was based around accent work. I once had a Scotsman convinced I was Scottish, and he was getting really mad at me because he started calling me Lowland scum. And then I finally had to go, dude, I'm Canadian. He's like, no. Like, yeah. I once almost got hired to play Russians for a TV movie called Nuremberg. They had a bunch of Russian characters. And I went to the audition using a trick that you use sometimes at auditions when you're doing a character. When you're not auditioning to just be a role. When you're doing a character, is be the character the minute you walk in the door until they say cut, and then switch to your normal voice, right? So I walk into audition talking like this the whole time, do my thing. And we do audition. Audition is done. This went well. And I switch back to my normal accent. And the director, who was Russian, goes, hey, and I'm like, oh, no, not Russian. No, you're fucking Russian. And I'm like, no, I'm not Russian, man. You sound like Russian. You're good. So I got cast. And then they got a budget cut because they were going over because of fucking Alec Baldwin. So they cut all the Russian-speaking roles. So I was not cast. That's the way it goes in Hollywood. Sometimes you get a part, and then the part vanishes, and you go, "Well, oh well, no work for me." But yeah, so I do a lot of that.
Why is there?
RPG Dad, I knew it. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah.
Why is it there's so many stories in the entertainment industry that end with, and then because of Alec Baldwin, this got cut or this happened?
Yeah. Because Alec Baldwin is there are a few people that you will see in Hollywood who are renowned for being difficult to work with. Very difficult to work with. But some of them have managed to get to a point where they're powerful enough that their difficulty offset by the amount of money you can make from having them in the project by selling it to foreign investors, right? So every time you want to make a film, here's how it works. I show up to meet you guys and I go, hi, yes, we're making this movie called Cross Stitch Massacre. And it's about a woman who cross stitches murders before they happen. She has a psychic vision of the murders. And she works with a cop who believes in her and is trying to prevent these murders from happening. And she's, there's scenes of her trying to make her fingers are bleeding from how fast she's trying to make these cuts. And they go, great. Who do you see as the woman? Who do you see as the man? And then you say something stupid like, well, I think for the woman, we're going to go for an unknown and try and find someone that we can develop as a star and blow out on that. And for the man, I don't know, we think Bruce Campbell would be good. And they go, And they take out their little sheets and they go, Bruce Campbell is exactly worth how much money? Yeah, we don't think Bruce Campbell would be a good choice. Oh, Rob Schneider's really popular in Korea, and we can sell this in Korea for a lot of money. So what do you think about making Rob Schneider the cop? And you're like, he's a comedian. He's not right for the role. Yeah, but Chris Farley makes a lot of money, so maybe we could. And that's how casting works for movies in a lot of cases, unless you have money and you're a big studio production. If you don't have that, all of your casting choices have to be run through the how much money can we get from Korea, Japan, China, the UK, Central America. They have numbers and they have it all listed out, box office value. And that's why you don't see a lot of people that you think should be in a movie, and that's a lot of times why you see someone that you don't think should be in that part, because they have value of generating money from distributors. Stupid, right?
That's the dumbest thing I've heard all week.
There you go. That's Hollywood, baby.
That sounds like business.
I was gonna say that just sounds kind of normal to me at this point. Like, I'm not surprised whatsoever.
Yes, he was.
Yes, he was. Moonlighting. But then he did Die Hard. They put him in Die Hard, and he fucking blew up. And my favorite Bruce Willis movie is still Hudson Hawk. I love that fucking movie. Sorry, Hudson Hawk. I still love that movie. It's so good. Have you ever seen Hudson Hawk, Sarah? You know how Danny Aiello... You've never seen it?
No, I was going to say not for about 10 years or so, but
okay. You know how Danny Aiello's character dies in the movie and then comes back later in the movie? Okay, Danny Aiello's character was only supposed to be there in the first act and then get killed, but he and Bruce Willis were having so much fun working together, they rewrote the script so he could come back. And then they started, we'll kill him in the second act. I'm like, great. But then they're like, but we want him back. He's way too much fun, so we'll bring him back in the third act. Airbags, can you fucking believe it? It's just, like, I love how that story plays out. But the best character in that whole fucking film is, what's his name? Shit. The CIA guy. What is that actor's name? James Coburn. Where he just like that whole thing was like, God, I miss the Cold War. It's just people were scared. The CIA had money. The CIA had respect, and I got laid every night. Such a good speech. I did my first barehanded strangulation in Rome.
I could have rewatched that movie.
It got a lot of bad flack when it came out because people were expecting an action film, and they marketed it like an action film. I remember the ads, and then we watched it. My buddy and I just went to see it because there was nothing else playing. We were like, well, let's go see Hudson Hawk. Oh, okay, and we were crying, laughing, watching it. Like we were just pissing ourselves. It was so funny. Like. I think Buffy's got today's ball. Fuck. I mean, David Caruso's in that movie. Fuck. I mean, there's a lot of really good actors in that movie. David Caruso, he's Kit Kat. He's the one that only speaks in the cards. The new MTV CIA. The MTIA, whatever we call it.
Oh god. Yep, I need to rewatch that movie sometime.
Oh yeah. Well, I've carried this conversation about as far as I'm going to fucking carry it when you start talking.
This show.
Seraphis.
Yeah.
Conversations. He just sits there and watches us, and then if other Brian is here, they make little stupid jokes to each other and giggle like 12-year-olds smelling farts.
That is, yeah.
No, that's too good of a vintage for him.
No, we're passing notes of like dick pics or guns or, childish things.
Yeah, hence smelling farts.
Well,
okay, here's the proof you are male. If you're alone and you fart, you just fart. That's life. But if someone else is in the room and you fart, you immediately start giggling.
No.
Oh, yeah. Maybe it's a North American thing, but I'm telling you, I don't know an adult male in my life who doesn't, when they're around someone fart, go, "That is really a person." Like, like it's the weirdest thing that we think they're funny.
I mean, fair enough. I can't say that I can relate, but I know I'm me.
That's okay. You can all pretend, but we all know the truth. Tori knows, but she's
What
not
do
allowed
I
to
know?
say that the myth must continue that women do not fart, burp, sneeze, cough, any of those things. That's why they bitch so much, because if they didn't, they'd explode.
I sneeze I sneeze the loudest in my house. I think I picked it up from my grandpa, but because he does it too. But whenever we sneeze, we like do this huge wind up sound, and it's really involuntary. But Steve makes fun of me for it all the time, and it is funny. It does make me laugh often.
Fair.
Yeah, pretty sure I was cleaning the garage on Friday, and the dust got to me and I sneezed, and I was like looking around like, man, I'm pretty sure the neighbors heard that. It's really loud. But funny. Okay, let's see.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not allowed to. So the whole kicker is that we're supposed to discover the image as we go. So unlike other projects where I'd be like, here's what it's going to look like in the end, I'm not going to do that because I'm not supposed to look at a picture of what it's going to look like in the end.
So
I go
what are you
back
doing
to-
this through telepathy? Like, how the fuck does that work then if you don't know what it looks like?
Well, I've seen I mean like looking at the finished product. So I have like when I'm actually working, I have a pattern that I'm actually working on, but it just looks like nonsense pixels. So you can't, I can't tell you like, oh, that's the goggles on the gnome or anything like that, because as you can see, it just looks like Minecraft blocks, right? But normally when you're working on something like this, you can go out and you can look at the final, like what it's going to look like when it's all done. But me and her have made a choice to not do that because we don't remember it. So we're going to discover the image as we go. So like for the longest time, we still don't entirely know what this is. And so we're having a fun time. It's like a mini game where we're kind of trying to guess and like figure out like, what is this? Because we don't really know what it is. I think it's like either like maybe like cloth, because it looks like there's like maybe like this is a rounded wrinkle in a piece of cloth or something. By the way, when this is finished, so like you can see my hand next to it, right? So this is like a couple of inches that's done already from here to here. But when the whole thing is done, it's gonna be like 18 inches long. So this is like, how far am I? I am let's see, 2.6% done with it. So this right here is 2.6% of the image.
So that's going to be keeping you busy for a while.
A long while. It's a full coverage piece, so I wanted to do this one. The other one I have is the artificer piece. I just haven't been working on it, or of which freaking Sarah. So in my last video I did, I recorded it, I edited it, I went through it and watched it on YouTube like I do with all my videos, and then it wasn't until like the third watch later that I realized I said artificer instead of artificer. I went through all the editing, all the recording, everything, and didn't realize that I had done that. I blame Sarahfish.
What's wrong with saying artificer?
It's not how it's normally said in my native accent language. What have
Doesn't
you?
matter. Say what you like. Clearly, your brain wanted to say artificer. Say artificer. Lean into it. Enjoy it. Be proud of it. Stand out.
That's what I did.
Stand out from the crowd. Don't let the crowd bully you into pronouncing words properly. I'm drinking coffee. It's delicious, my coffee. And anyone who doesn't like how I say that word can fuck off.
Oh yeah, I forgot I have coffee.
But do you have coffee?
This is coffee, Jack, bourbon cream, and a espresso liqueur. So I think it qualifies as coffee.
You'll find any reason to put booze in things. It's amazing. You think they're British the way they do it.
It's very it's very tasty. It's just I don't know. It's a good mixture. It's a good combination. It's very tasty. It's not too sweet, but it's not too bitter. Because I don't like it when I don't like coffee that's black, but I don't like coffee that has like a lot of creamer in it. So I don't like it when it's too sweet. I've seen people, they do that thing where they just pour creamer and they just keep pouring it and then they put some coffee on the top and I'm just like, bleh! Like how can you
My cup will be this is my little 12-ounce cup or whatever it is, right? This much coffee and then this much cream. Not creamer. 10% cream. You know what I mean? If I'm feeling real froggy and it's on sale, I'll buy the 18% cream and then it's just I've done black coffee. I don't mind it. A couple of sweeteners, I'm good. Like 2 artificial sweeteners in a black coffee and I can drink it, but it'll go cold because I won't drink it fast. With cream in it, I'll drink it faster.
Yeah, I will do and this has hot water in it because I was heating it up. So like color wise, that's a sweet coffee. That's a very sweet mixture for me.
What are you using for your whitener?
Just like the Coffee Mate French vanilla,
yeah, that's
whatever.
Yeah, you're using a creamer stuff, and that stuff's nasty and full of sugar.
It is, but I don't use it actually so most of my mugs are 16 ounces, and this is one my sister bought for me, so I just have it. And I actually got curious, so I started measuring, and on average I put about a tablespoon of creamer in there. So I actually don't use like a lot. That looks very blonde to me. Like that looks too sweet.
Very blonde. But it's not sweet because I'm just using coffee. I'm just using cream. Like 10% cream. It's not Coffee Mate or any of that bullshit. It's just cow cream, I think in the States you guys call it half and half, what I use.
Okay, yeah. And I mean I've had that before. Like we've done that before. I happen to have some Coffee Mate. It was like left over from work and I brought it home at one point.
Tori, at least you're not a savage who puts milk in their coffee. What the fuck?
Oh, hi. You called?
Yeah, my grandmother, the one that made us
Full
speak
cream
properly,
milk.
also told me at a young age, milk is
Otherwise,
for coffee.
normal
Milk is for tea, cream is for coffee. Don't be a savage.
Like condensed milk is for tea.
Condensed milk is disgusting.
That's way too sweet. Holy crap. I could not put that in my tea. Oh my god.
I will have my tea black, and I will have a little dash of milk in my coffee.
Most of my tea will not have anything in it because sometimes it's black tea, sometimes it's green tea. And if I ever put milk in it, it's only if I have a black tea. If I have like a green tea or something like that, I will not put anything in it. I will put a little bit of milk in my tea because I do like that. But and then I use like Coffee Mate because that's what I have. And I don't put very much in there, but just a little bit.
That's okay. My favorite teas, I have 2 that I will drink regularly. One is this orange tea, orange flavored tea that comes on sale sometimes, and I buy it when it's on sale. It's fucking delicious. Oh my god! And that I can do no cream, no milk, black, and I'm fine with that. The other one though is an apple cinnamon tea from Tim Hortons.
Ooh.
I put 2 sweetener in that and about this much milk, and oh my god, it's like drinking an apple pie. It's so fucking good.
That does sound delicious.
That does sound delicious. I have a box of Yorkshire tea that's sort of my standard go-to. Just like I want tea, get Yorkshire tea.
Perfectly balanced.
And then we have a Greenfield jasmine tea that's like the green tea that I will drink sometimes. And then we have like an entire cabinet of like different kinds of tea. We have, I think the brand is Celestial.
Celestial Seasonings.
It's just like a sleepy tea, like a chamomile tea, I think.
Sleepy time tea. I love sleepy time tea. Are you kidding? Oh my god, sleepy time tea is the best.
We have it every night. It's like a ritual now that we have our sleepy time tea.
Yeah. I was suffering from insomnia about 5 years ago. Brutal, like it was brutal. Like day 6 of getting 2.5 hours sleep. I was just like, And my friend at work, Jess, she's like, "You take melatonin?" I'm like, "No." She's like, "Okay, get some melatonin." I'm like, she goes, "And get some sleepy time tea." I said, "Okay." She goes, "And then you make your cup of tea. You take your 5 or 10 milligrams or whatever it is. I do 20 of melatonin, and you will sleep like a baby." And I'm like, "Bullshit." First night I did it, fuck, best sleep I had in my life. But the melatonin makes your dreams really vivid, like super vivid, like Technicolor 4K dreams. You know what I mean? Like, oh boy, that was weird.
I have not taken melatonin, but we do sleepy time tea all the time. And anytime I miss, like if I don't take if I don't drink the tea before bed, I usually don't sleep as good. And I'm like, man, I should have had my tea last night.
Do you know how else you don't sleep good? Children.
Well, whose fault is that, Sarah? You're the one who chose to have unprotected sex. Like, I'm just saying. There's a consequence, clearly.
Yeah. Summer sent me a picture of the kiddo yesterday. He's cute. They put a bow tie on him. He's let's see, he was March, so he's a month old now.
Hey, do you guys know what they put in their coffee in Morocco and Algeria?
No.
Butter.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah. And apparently it's delicious. I've never had the balls to try it. I've always been like, I don't want to, butter's expensive. I don't want to lose like my cup of coffee and butter in this. If I go, oh God, gross. But like, like everybody I know from North Africa swears by this is like the most delicious thing ever.
Is it like a tablespoon? Like, or like a teaspoon? Like how much per?
I don't know.
Like,
I've never investigated the actual quantities on it. I just know that they put butter in their coffee.
I would say I could try that and report back to you, but I would want to know how to.
I will find out. Hang on. I will get the information.
My question now boils down to: is it a different kind of butter? Given that sugar probably wouldn't be as readily available. That would be the explanation to me. So that's their dairy supplement. Hope I'm making some sense with my thinking.
Yeah, I think I'm following.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Yeah, no, but their butter it's the same as ours. It's cow butter. It's salted cow butter. The only people that really, really, really do butter differently are the Indians because they use the clarified stuff.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Lebanon coffees. That's interesting.
So 2 cups. It's 1 tablespoon per cup.
Okay.
That sounds like a lot of butter, but okay.
Yeah, it really does.
I like. There's a part of me that's curious because I can kind of sort of see it, but I'm like, huh.
I'd say do a teaspoon and see what it tastes like. That's what I would do.
Yeah. And then yeah. I'll have to try that in my next hot cup. I would want to do it with fresh coffee though. This is reheated coffee.
Well, I think also if you could find a way to do it like authentic Moroccan coffee. Because authentic Moroccan coffee it's a spiced coffee, right? So the butter might actually be really nice with those spices because they use cardamom, nutmeg, and I think cinnamon is their choice.
Oh, I could see that. I used to put cinnamon in my coffee all the time.
I usually at Starbucks. When I was going to work and I'd stop at the Starbucks in like the underground city on my way through to get my coffee, I'd be like, "Where's the cinnamon?"
Yep.
Oh boy.
I don't do Starbucks. I can't stand their coffee, but it was basically a coffee shop like that, and I would do a little bit of milk or half. Actually, I think half and half is what they had on the. They have like the counter where you get your coffee. You just get drip coffee, then you go over to the counter, and I would put a little bit of milk in there. I'd put cinnamon in there. I do like a little pinch of like one of the itty bitty little packets of sugar, like just a little bit of sugar, and then I would have that. It was really good.
Well, I dislike Starbucks immensely, but I also have a thing for baristas. So there was a really cute one that I was, getting along with quite well. C'est la vie, you know what I mean? So I'm stopping at Starbucks now.
Yeah,
Talkin-
it's the fact that it's so bitter. Like their
it's so burnt,
coffee.
they burn it.
Yes, it's very bleh. It's not
And then they
good.
try and act like. So I used to date a black apron. Okay, this girl was a black apron, and black aprons at Starbucks, they have to go through this whole training about coffee and all this shit. But they program them with their bullshit about the burnt coffee bringing out a better flavor, a more robust flavor. I'm like, I disagree. But I felt, you know what, look, she's been through it. She knows more about coffee than me. That's great. When I went to work for Keurig, I learned more about coffee in that year than I ever thought humanly possible. And I now am like, Starbucks does not know their arse, head from their arsehole. They just do not
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
They're just
I believe
making
that.
shit up and trying to make it sound real. Because, man, I learned so much about coffee from working with Keurig.
Well, and it's like the whole thing with Starbucks is it's not even really about the coffee. They're more of like the brand, they're the trendy thing or whatever. It's like you guys don't even need to make the coffee good because that's not what you're selling. If you're Starbucks, you're not selling the coffee.
Can I tell you my funny Starbucks story from 1995?
Sure.
Only if you
So
say can't names twice.
1995, I moved from Montreal to Vancouver. Coffee culture has not hit yet. Starbucks is not Starbucks. They're a West Coast thing. I get off the plane. I'm a little jet laggy. It's 3 hours earlier in the biometric clock because they're 3 hours behind the East Coast. So I'm a little off. And my buddy goes, let's go get a coffee. And you're going to grab a brownie. The brownies here are amazing. I'm like, where are we going? Is this place Starbucks? I'm like, all right, let's go. So we walk in. I walk up to the cash. I look at the girl and I say, yeah, I'll just get a cup of coffee and one of your brownies, please. And she goes, what kind of coffee? And I go, regular, not decaf. She goes, right, but what kind? I'm like, coffee. She's like, yes, sir, but what kind of coffee do you want, sir? And I'm like, coffee. I want fucking coffee. And my buddy's like, steps. He's like, sorry, he's from the East. He'll have a venti, blah, blah, blah. He starts talking all this. I'm like, what the fuck are they doing to coffee? What is this fucking coffee, man? Like, it was
Right.
insane. It was culture shock. And the brownie wasn't that good, by the way.
There's
But
a taco.
Sorry, go ahead.
I say I just make my own brownies now. I don't get brownies anywhere except there's a taco shop around here. I don't know how big they are. I know they're in like a couple of places in the valley, but they do what they call Mexican brownies, which is like it's brownie, but it has like cayenne in it. No. It has like cayenne pepper in it. So it's like it's a brownie, but it's spicy.
Interesting.
And they're really good.
Nice. Well, there was another place in Vancouver called JJ Bean, which was like a local chain of coffee places, and they were really good. Their coffee was really fucking good. But there was where my first apartment was, there was a place near me called The Grind. And it was this like artsy, not artsy fartsy, but it was like a lot of artists hung out there, writers hung out there. It was a 24-hour coffee shop. The furniture was all mismatched. They had local art on the wall that you could buy with a price tag on. It was just that kind of cool bohemian type thing. And their coffee was, coffee. There was nothing spectacular, nothing to write home about, nothing bad about it, nothing good about it. But I spent many a night in 95, 96, and 97, sitting in there, hammering away on my shitty 286 laptop. You know what I mean? Like, it was crazy. It was crazy.
That's the one from your book, isn't it? I didn't realize
Well,
that was based on...
I stole the name for the Daily Grind. Exactly, The Grind. Yeah.
Oh, right.
I honored it in the book. And the club, I can't believe you read my book, Tori. Oh, you're a sweetheart.
Well, I read part of it. I haven't finished it yet, but I was reading through it when you were asking for it was like before it was out on Amazon and you were asking for and I was reading through it. It was taking me a long time, longer than I would have liked. So I couldn't give feedback right away. I did end up picking it up on Amazon though. The part I struggled with, and I wasn't sure like how to, but the part I struggled with was when she comes home from the incident, like in the very beginning, she comes home from the whole thing happening and she has this like interior monologue about the way she looks because it's like you're trying to do that narrator thing where you're trying to and I just like, I was like, oh dear God. And I rolled my eyes and then I started like skipping forward. I'm like, okay, yeah, whatever. Moving on. This is not the internal monologue.
All of that is based on a real person I know who shared that monologue with me and told me about the thoughts that go through her head and why she dyed her hair.
Oh, I'm sure.
So it's just based on her.
Yeah, I just skipped that part.
Okay, it's only a page or two tops. It's not that
Yeah,
long.
it wasn't long, but I did want to go back and continue. Well, and then I set it down because then I was doing something else, and then it was like a couple of days later you put it out on Amazon, and I was like, well, screw that, I'll just buy the whole thing. I'll just pick up this copy in case there's changes. But
And
it was
there were.
interesting.
There were changes. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. This is what she's talking about for those who don't know.
Mm-hmm.
This is my book that I put out on Amazon. There's another thing in there. There's a club in there called the Red Room, which I don't think you've gone to that part yet, where they play a show at a place called the Red Room, and that's based on a bar I used to bounce at in Vancouver as well. Basically, the setting, the city that is represented in here is very loosely based on Vancouver in the 90s. But anyway, if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. It's okay. I understand.
I liked everything else. I liked everything else. It dropped immersion for me a little bit.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
Some
other
people
than
like
that,
it,
no.
some people don't. I mean, that's the
Yeah.
thing, right? Like when you're reading, not everything's going to hit for you, and some stuff will, some stuff won't. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, you know, I don't take offense that like a part of the book didn't resonate for you. My God, no. I would be crazy to think all of it would resonate.
Right, but I liked everything else. Like I liked the setup. I liked the because it reminded me so much of the city brew that I used to spend all my time at here. Because when I lived in the RV, I didn't want to go home all the time. Plus, during the summer, it's like 90 degrees out there, and there's no AC in there. It's an RV. So there was a summer where I spent every afternoon after work for like 3-4 hours at that city brew. So it kind of like reminded me of that, and I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the setup of the mystery of like, okay, that was weird, and then trying to go back to normal life after some strange event happens.
So my sweet 80-year-old aunt read it, and she quite loved the book. She was flooding me with questions and comments and all this kind of stuff. And then at the end of one of her things, she said, "Really, it's a fucking good book." To which I said, "Enid, can I quote you on the cover?" That would just be funny as the cover quote. "Really, it's a fucking good book." She's like, "No, you can't do that. Don't put my name out there." I'm like, "All right, fine." But that would be funny as fuck for me. Sadly, a friend of mine is reading it, and she had to stop because she got to the part of Alison and Tove's Tove. I don't know how do you pronounce Tove in Norwegian Scandi languages. Tove. Is it Tove or is it Tove? Because it's a name from that part of the world.
Let me think here. Tove? Yeah.
Tova. Anyway, so she got to the point where Alison and Tova are, exploring their rekindling love, and she had to stop the book. And I was like, "Why did you stop?" She's like, "It made me sad." I'm like, "Why'd that make you sad?" She goes, "Because I've never found that." And I was like, "Oh, no, I never wanted someone to feel that reading it. Like, that makes me so sad to hear that if someone was reading it and the happiness of the character made them reflect on their own sadness." I'm like, "Oh, shit, I feel bad now."
I feel like I don't have any. Okay. Because I was just reading through that part and going, okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah, but you're a fucking sociopath.
All right. Data upon of the people. Good. Moving next. What's?
Oh, look, people dying. I'm back in. Good.
Funnily enough, yeah.
Did your wife read it in the end, Sax?
No, I haven't gotten convinced. I'll ambush her and be like, here you go. Not yet. Mind you, I probably need to just present it more to her.
What the hell is Moomin Lady? What the hell are you talking about, Gossip Room?
Yeah, I'm confused.
But like the movements.
Like Brian.
Mormon. I just can't remember what the fuck I was watching. It might have been Archer or something, but they got to a point where they were talking about the Scientologists, and one of the guys goes, "Oh, you mean space Mormons?" I fucking died laughing and shared that with Brian as fast as I could.
I'm just trying to like read the factions from Queen City and translate it into what I'm trying to do and see how well that's turning out. So each of the factions have got like a paragraph. Just figure out like what I can do that with, or do with that. Sorry. Anyway,
Well,
Seraphis,
someone
what's
sorry,
go on? I was
No,
just
no,
going to
please.
pick on I'm going to pick on Seraphis and say, what have you been doing for gaming lately?
No.
No, that's not an answer I'm willing to entertain here. What are you doing in gaming lately?
Video gaming, role playing, what?
Normally,
Murder most foul.
see that I can approve of. That's good. That's healthy for you. Like tabletop or video games. What's piquing your interest at the moment?
Well, what's killing time for me at the moment is Shop Titans on Steam, because kids really don't allow you to kind of invest time in, a good, decent role-playing game online. And the 3.5 game. So anyway,
You hate that game, man.
technically no.
Yeah, bullshit.
I want to fucking make something. I'm an artificer and I can't fucking make anything because we haven't gotten out this goddamn
So,
crawl.
You're what? An artificer? A fartificer? What the hell? What is that? See, I can do a little bit of the stand-in Brian's for you. I can't do much, but I can give you a little bit.
I just greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Just here for you, Sarah.
But yeah, God, like it's 3.5. You know everything from that. I will say there is a good system there for D&D if it wasn't so full. But in the same way, the previous edition, second edition, or AD&D, or even BX, or BECME, whatever.
Yeah.
The OGs can fight that one out. I don't know. I liked it when you just had a tag for reversible for a spell rather than having to have 50 million different versions of the same spell or whatever. Jesus fucking Christ.
Dude, I'm running 5e again.
Have fun with that.
I will, because I'm not an ass about D&D like everybody else on this fucking planet is. Oh. Remember though, I'm the guy who liked 4e.
No.
Steve was introduced to D&D on 4E.
There you go.
I've got nothing wrong with 4E's system. I think they fucked up by not marketing that system on its own, because it could have been a great skirmish system.
No, I agree. Anyone who's if they had called it Dungeons and Dragons Tactics, it would have been a great thing.
Yeah, that would have been a great system.
And it'd still be around today.
Yeah. But they just fucked up by moving it entirely into that space, that design.
You know what the original 4E was supposed to be? The original 4E. Have you ever read Star Wars Saga? The Star Wars Saga RPG. The RPG version of Star Wars they did called Saga Edition.
No.
Okay.
I've heard you guys talk about it though.
It's amazing. And it was originally supposed to be it was like when they came out, it was like, here's a little sneak peek about what 4th edition D&D is going to be like. And we all read Saga and went, holy fuck, this is really good. D&D is going to be really good. And then 4th edition came out and it was nothing like Saga. And so my first gut instinct too was like, well, fuck this. This is shit. I'm not playing this. Fuck this. Stupid fuck, Yes. There you go. I'm glad I could make you smile like I dangled my keys in front of you. But later I went back and I tried 4E and I was like, you know what? This is actually a decent game. I don't hate it at all. And 5e is a good game too. They fucking overproduced it and they changed so much. By the time you get to Tashes, it's like, what are you doing? Stop. But Xanathar's was a good book.
I think my biggest problem. No, I've got way too many problems. I will say one of my bigger pet peeves for 5e is that they were very disorganized with what and how they release things.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, if they'd released just like a Player's Handbook 2 with all the stuff in it, would have been better than, Tasha's or Xanathar's or whatever, where it's got a splattering. It's got a splattering of player and DM stuff.
Yeah.
It's like, no, stop fucking doing that.
Yeah. But given the failure of 4e, there was no way they were doing Player's Handbook 2, DMG 2. It was just not going to happen.
And yet, that also comes from 3rd edition as well, where it was very successful.
Yep. It is what it is, man. It is what it is.
See, and it's funny because, like you say, you talk about not liking 5th edition, and I'm like trying to separate in my head the system. Like, what do you not like about 5th edition that is the 5th edition system versus just release patterns, marketing patterns, products? Well,
no. So, to be clear, it's not necessarily a 5th edition system. It's what he's handling. And let's be fair, complete lack of design, development, structure, everything for that game. So it's what's his D&D 5e. The system itself, as I will constantly point out, Cobalt Press's Black Flag, there is your 5e that works, quite frankly.
So the system works, but the person who...
Cobalt Press.
What's the name of the game?
You heard me.
Black Flag?
Yeah, that's not the game they released, sir.
Wait, isn't Cobalt Tales of the Valiant?
Oh, yeah. There's how do you do a marketing misstep in one fucking move? You pre-call the game Black Flag, and everyone gets really into it and starts waving black flags on their YouTube channels and goes, yeah, Black Flag. And then you release it as Tales of the Valiant. What the fuck is this? The Prince Valiant role-playing game? What are you talking about? Black Flag was metal. Tales of the Valiant sounds fucking stupid.
Tales of the Valiant would have been a great campaign setting.
For Black Flag.
Exactly. We've had that discussion before.
Why did I give Max Boivin the name Bastard Sword as opposed to keeping it for myself? Because I knew I was never going to fucking publish this thing. I knew it was just a pet project that was going to die on the vine. I was going to lose interest in it at some point in time. 1. 2, he was calling his generic hardcore fantasy game Winter Dawn, which sounds like a campaign setting, not a role-playing game. So I gave him Bastard Sword, so he would actually have a decent name to go with it. Now, do I regret it? Sometimes. Because Bastard Sword was awesome.
Very metal.
But since I'm never ever going to publish that, ever, I'm okay. I can survive without it. But that's the same thing with the Tales of the Valiant Black Flag thing. Black Flag was a great fucking name. It was astoundingly good. It was punk, it was metal, it was fucking hardcore. Tales of the Valiant. Really? Do we all start in a village together where we pick flowers? Like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I'm just, because I'm like thinking, so like you don't hate the system, but you hate the people that made the system for design in the system, but you don't hate the system that was designed, just the design of the system. I'm a little bit in circles.
Okay.
They live 6 feet from the sun, Tori. Their brains are fried down under. Come on.
Okay, so Tori, if you take, and Bear will back me up here, if you take the 3 core books of 5e, Monster Manual, Player's Handbook, DMG, you have the basics of a functioning working system, right?
Right. That is 5e.
Yes. And that right there is fine. I think there were parts missing, But that there is enough to make a lot of things work. It's enough to run your games. It's enough to build upon, right? It's a good foundation for entry for people who have not played before, right? Then you start packing on how and what they released when they did Modern Canaans, Xanathars, Tashas, all that, right? You didn't have a book that was for players. You didn't have a book that was more monsters, like Monster Manual 2. You had a book that had new spells, new classes, new monsters, new rules, and then you had another book that was new spells, new classes, new monsters, new rules, and
And another
adventures.
fix on the Ranger that wasn't a fix.
Yes, like basically they so poorly designed. Like technically, Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is already a patch 2.5e before they did this 5.5 version. Because they changed rules to the basic system. And then when they did 5.5, they reversed some of those things that they did. It's a horrible design.
It's fair. That said, the basic rules they released online for free are a great game.
I was gonna say, yeah, I guess I don't really equate, because whenever you say 5e, it sounds like what you're really referring to are those books. Even though you say 5e, what you really don't like are those particular books in WotC's, which is not necessarily 5e the system per se, because like you just don't like how they did those later books, those particular products.
Stupid.
That being said, it still builds upon like this weird kind of bastardizing 3e and 4e, which once you start getting to higher levels, once you start building up characters, gets to this kind of gluggy mess of a system. So it's harder to run high level campaigns, or it's more bogged down to run higher level campaigns with 5e because of this weird design that they decided to pull later on, which I'm sure made sense in testing, just doesn't really work at the table.
They never tested above 10th level.
That's pretty obvious.
You can tell.
Yeah.
But I don't let my campaigns go past 10th level, so I'm okay.
I was gonna say I never had campaigns run that long because people want, usually by that point, actually we never even made it past like 5 half the time, because they, oh, I want to try this or I want to play this, or groups didn't stay together that long because life happens or people move or this or that, the other thing, so the group just wasn't even the group anymore.
Sax, you're going to say something?
No, like mechanically, once you start looking at what's going on, past 10th level, like it's quite clear they've just given up. The abilities, what you get at this point, some of them become ridiculous. Some of them are just underwhelming for what level you are. And if you then look at what they've released, it's always going to be for around, well, technically probably level 3 to level 10 or 12 if you're lucky. And then that's the focus group. That's where most games are reported to, like, okay, at this point, that's all where things fizzle out. People don't want to go into interplanetary or interdimensional traveling. They don't want to do these things. They want to have more things that are grounded, not grounded like we know it, but grounded, focused around them. And then when it gets to this point, oh, happy days, right into the sunset, and then you go looking for something else.
And as someone who grew up on like the original Peter Pan, Neverland, kind of folklorish tales of Ireland, I want to take my adventures across the other realms and things like that. And it's so fucking annoying that by the time you get there, you can't really push the classes much further because Yeah.
No, it's not designed for it. It probably never will be designed for it. That's fine. It's a limitation of the system's design. You just have to now basically go like, okay, if we're going to be doing this, we're going to be between these levels. This is going to be focused. Once we reach this point, we're not really going to go any further. That's it. Like, play to its strengths, really, at the end of the day.
Or, and I'm just throwing this out there, you could use a different system.
Yeah, but
Yeah, you can always play. What's that other system that everybody liked so much? Yeah, D&D. Or that other system people like so much? D&D. Or that other system people like so much? D&D. That's the point. It's just fucking D&D. If you're playing D&D, I don't give a fuck what edition you're playing. You're playing D&D. If you're playing D6, that's different. If you're playing, what's that one you like so much? Cypher system. That's different. If you're playing Cortex, Core, that's different. I hate, and I mean the word hate, which I don't like to use the word hate a lot. I use dislike because I think hate's strong. But I fucking hate everyone arguing about their fiddly things in D&D. Like, I prefer this version to this version. Yeah, okay, there's like 4 differences that really matter. You know, like, Jesus Christ, you're telling me exactly which kind of chocolate brownie you prefer at this point in time. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I like the dark chocolate. I like the milk chocolate. I like it with peanuts. I like it with almonds. I like it with raisins. Like, fuck, I don't care. It's a fucking chocolate brownie. Enough. Go play another fucking game. Get a perspective on how games can be different. Then go back to D&D and you will shockingly see that it's all the fucking same.
And that's why I'm so sick of all the D&D clones.
Oh, God.
Because it just floods the market even more with, oh, it's D&D.
With my house rules.
yeah.
Bless you, Sax.
Thank you.
I need
no,
more
I
coffee to have this conversation. I'll be right back.
Sure. I do agree, Surface. It's just the variations of D&D clones. It's just, okay, it's D&D, but what's your selling point? In which, in most cases, there isn't really a sale that pulls me in. I've had some that got me, and in hindsight, I looked at it and went, no, this was actually a bad purchase. I'm keeping it because there are things I can steal from it, or there are some aspects I like, but the majority of it, I'll go, no, this was bad. This is not worth my time, so I will not, do it. Like, it's going to be hard for me to say, okay, I will pick up a new D&D clone or a new D&D variant, because most of them are just not interesting.
I can't say anything because I love D&D and I'm playing a D&D variant, and I love it.
Yeah, but like, there's a sell to you for that variant that you like, and I'm not. What I'm saying is that's great. You have found something that you really liked. I have bought a number of D&D variants where I've gone, I don't like this. Basic Fantasy is a 1E clone where they've stripped away anything that I would enjoy and gone, here's the basic stuff. Make everything else up. No, thank you. That's not why I buy a game. I don't like this. I have all the physical books there because it's like, oh, cool. This would be neat to have. But it's, at the end of the day, it's a purchase that I will turn around and go, right, this is not something that I want to do again. I have then bought Lion and Dragons. And I regret that because it is a terrible product. It's a terrible system. And the creator turned out to be an absolute douchebag. So I was giving money to someone that I ultimately turned around and gone, I don't want to support people like that. Peace, love, yeah.
That's not. There it is. I'm happy.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So yeah, I don't like that. And I mean, I've had the same thing when I bought. Oh, what is it called again? It is a Warhammer Fantasy clone, and I just ended up just getting into tots with the creator all the time on Twitter, all the time. And I just basically went, he had enough principles that he turned around and said, listen, I will give you your money back because you are the person I don't want to sell to. I went, I don't want my money back. I bought the product. This is on me. but you and I just disagree because you decide to make things political in your book and on your social media. So we're just going to be in an impasse. So it's to the point of where it's hard for me to take a sell. I think that's where I'm going with this. Whereas you, Tori, you found a product that has a sell. That's been fantastic. Good. That's good. That's very good. And I think that's something that should definitely be celebrated, that you've been able to find a product that appeals to you.
How much do you think that a contributor or creators how much do you separate the art from the artist?
So right now, because I am no longer on social media, it's depending on whether or not it seeps into the product. That's where I am right now. Previously, if I found out who the creator were, I would go and follow them. I'd see what they were like. I'd see like, okay, at that time, I knew I was in a part of the internet where like people wouldn't like me because of who I associated with. So I'd go then and be like, okay, am I giving money to someone that hates me? If so, why would I do that?
Well, that's fair. So I was just no judgment or anything. I was genuinely asking because that's something that like sometimes I struggle with myself. Because like ignorance is bliss, right? Like I don't have social media either outside YouTube and Discord. That's it. And it's like but then you hear something or someone makes a video about something and you're like, oh man, look, that doesn't. I'm not too fond of that. But then like if the product, but that's actually a really good point. I like that you said that if it seeps into the product, because if it doesn't and the product is still good, then I feel like we need to be able to separate the art from the artist. Otherwise we're going to all be miserable all the time.
Oh yeah. What are we talking about?
Heroic.
No, you're not. You liar.
You're a very political person. Just can't separate it all out. It's right there.
Oh, we're talking about politics in D&D?
In D&D or just in general when it comes to...
How much of the votes inherent in the system? Help, I'm being repressed.
You are. Yes, you are. Absolutely. Silence him. Now, Seraphis.
Bloody peasant. Ooh, that's a dead giveaway. You hear that?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, effectively it's...
Oh, that's really good. I thank you. I like that. I'm going to use that phrase going forward because I think that sums it up perfectly. That we can separate the art from the artist until it seeps into the product.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I know I bought one product where it was seeping in, and the more I learned about it, the more I just went, I don't like this product. So.
Yeah.
Whose products are we against?
So right now it was Lion and Dragon, and I'll see if I can find the other one. I think his name was David Fox.
Oh, Lion and Dragon. Yeah. Are you talking about RPG Pundit?
Well, that's one of them. The other one here is Zweihander.
Zweihander.
Yeah.
Zweihander.
That's the one. Zweihander by...
he's the guy who got the online
Trove
taken down.
Yeah, he got the Trove taken down.
Yeah, Trove, yeah.
That one, Daniel Fox. Yeah, because I got up in touch with him quite often.
He got the Trove taken down?
Yeah, he was one of the contributing people that got the Trove taken down.
Because he's a cunt.
Because his book was on there. He was basically going, I'm losing out on sales.
No, you're not.
I am
too expensive. No one's buying it.
His book is 692 pages long. The whole book. He had to make another version where he chopped things out to make it more accessible. It was just unwieldy. It was too much.
Yes.
So it did not go down well. And he's made a new one that's called Revolution. Now, again, I'm not saying this because people should go and do any form of boycott or the like. I'm just saying, where is it?
I mean, I'll say that happily because, I mean, I've already had death threats, so fuck it. He's a cunt. Boycott his shit.
You had death threats?
Yes.
We talked about this last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still amazed by that. I've never had death threats. I'm like, aw. I mean, I haven't had death threats here. I had death threats to my face when I was a bouncer and a bodyguard. And
Oh yeah, so have
security.
I. Who cares?
That's not. I've never had online death threats. You guys are slipping, by the way. If any of my people are here today, you're slipping. Where's my death threats?
Yeah, you're only a real YouTuber once you've gotten death threats.
I'm not a real YouTuber, I guess. Oh well.
You and your what, 2,000-3,000 subscribers?
2.24, I think, right now. I can't. I would be very shocked if I ever cap 3,000. I would be very shocked because I don't do anything that brings in those kinds of numbers. I'm not here making how-to videos. I'm not here, doing endless product reviews. I'm just hanging out with people, man.
That's the fun of it. That's what you got to do it for. Can't do it for the numbers. You drive yourself mad.
Oh my God, no! As I've said many times in the last 3 years, if this was my job, remind me to kill myself.
On what Sax was saying, I will say I absolutely also try to follow, or rather, not follow and avoid any of the political bullshit or anything that a creator or company will be spouting, because quite frankly, it's usually going to be something around some kind of socio-political American bullshit, and I don't give a flying fuck. Right?
Yeah, because Australian sociopolitical bullshit is way better.
Yes, but the rest of the world isn't constantly bombarded with our shit. We're constantly bombarded with their shit.
You don't know how much Australian bullshit we hear. We hear lots of Australian bullshit. You want to know why we hear it? Because the woke fucks that you guys were talking about, the politicized, that whole world, love to throw Australia in our face as an example of how their egalitarian progressive society should work.
Oh, you have those cunts too?
Oh, yeah. It used to be Denmark. They used to love to say Denmark and all that was the places. Not anymore.
For us, they say Denmark and Norway. Still.
You know what the population of Denmark is?
No idea.
Look it up. And then look up. Sorry, Sax. What's the population of Denmark, Sax?
5 to 6 million. It hasn't changed in the 15 years that I've been gone.
Yeah. What's the population of Norway?
Oh my God, probably twice as much.
5.5 million.
Oh, there you go.
So that's 1.5 major Canadian cities is the population of one of these countries, right?
And it's
less one major American city. In fact, you know what I mean? It's not so these countries are not good examples of how to run a society when you have more than 5 million people in it, because you start getting into crazy things that you can't afford, like universal education for everybody or stuff like that, without losing money. And this is what all the socialists don't fucking understand. It's what they can't get through their fucking heads, is that in my country, which is almost 40 million now, you can't give everything away for free. Just can't. It'll all fail because there'll be no fucking ability to support it and maintain it. Now imagine a country like Tories of 400 million people. How are you going to give everybody everything for free? Yes, you can offset a lot of costs. Yes, you could cut spending on defense. Here's the thing. Go ahead and cut spending on defense in America. And watch how much your product from overseas shoots through the roof as the Americans have to start reducing their naval considerations. The only reason we have the world trade system we have right now is because the American Navy patrols so many shipping lanes preventing piracy. If it wasn't for them, a third of your container ships would never reach port.
Yeah, by the way, since the 1950s, do you know who's basically upped paid the bill on the Pacific Fleet's fuel costs?
Who?
Australia.
You paid the bill on it? Just the fuel?
Yeah, just the fuel. Basically, that we've been paying the fuel costs for the Pacific Fleet as a basically hand agreement that if anything happens to Australia, the Pacific Fleet will come and assist us.
Oh, absolutely.
It's fucking bullshit.
Why is that bullshit?
Because it's an informal agreement. They don't have
You guys
to.
even join NATO.
Huh?
You guys in NATO?
Clearly, no, because we're in the
Yeah.
southern hemisphere.
Exactly. So this is the thing that allows you to have NATO protection from the U.S. With a look, dude. How ballsy do you think China would be if the American military wasn't down there? Do you think the Chinese are sitting around worrying about fighting the Australian armed forces like that's a major event for them? No.
You know they invaded our waters like 2 months ago, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's how
And-
afraid of you they are.
And the US did nothing.
Because they can't. Unless Australia invites them into those waters, America can't do anything. They're a foreign power. They can only patrol the international shipping lanes or the waters of countries that strike treaties to have them. Your country won't strike a treaty.
Gee, I wonder why.
We did. We fucking struck a treaty with them in Canada during the Cold War because we knew the Russians were right fucking there. We're like, yep, you come on in our waters, have a good time. Like, fuck, you know? This is why I get so fucking tired of the modern thought process about the American military. Is it overbloated? Absolutely. Does it overspend? Absolutely. Does it go on stupid American adventurism ideas? Yes. But imagine the world without it. Everybody likes to think that the rest of the world is this super peaceful, enlightened place, except for the Americans causing all the problems. Couldn't be farther from fucking truth. The same mentality that says the Native Americans were super peaceful, non-warring beings until Europeans taught them to fight. Nonsense. Ask the fucking Aztecs, you know? Go ahead.
I will just point out that I agree to a degree. However, I will point out that there is elements of the Americans that we don't need, like the fucking CIA.
I agree.
They have caused
Or
more trouble
USAID.
in more countries.
So okay, have you watched all these fucking people screaming about Elon and Doge cutting USAID?
Oh, fuck those people. Fuck those people.
Because if you go back to when I was young and we were learning about USAID, you know what they used to nickname USAID? The CIA's little sister.
Mm.
Most of those programs you read about that they're like, $25 million for this and that, and it was CIA front money used to basically undermine or do political exploration or adventurism in those countries. It's not what it is on paper. It's a way to do a slush fund for the CIA. In fact, when USAID first started, it was what it was. It was meant the idea of bringing US aid to other nations. And then the CIA got involved, and they started using it as they took over the training of USAID workers. And they taught them in basically enhanced interrogation techniques. Fuck, But these idiots on TikTok and running around, like you have no idea what a fucking demon nest USAID is,
Yeah, like, and not just on, like, your, unaligned countries and things like that. Like, 1970s, look into Australia's Governor General. His name was Kerr. The CIA called him Our Man Kerr.
Yep. Okay, you ever looked into MK Ultra?
Oh, fuck off.
Okay, in my city, there is a place called the Royal Victoria Hospital, which housed a particular psychological school of medicine where they did shit tons of MK Ultra experiments. But the Clintons never did anything wrong. They're good people who only want to bring happy stuff to the world, and I would never exit myself.
Fuck every American political person ever, except for Teddy Roosevelt. He seems like the only one who was actually cool.
Again, the Clintons never did anything wrong. I respect the Clintons. They're great people who only want the best for everyone. The Clintons are great people. We love the Clintons.
I would stab a motherfucker.
And next week we will learn of the terrible accident of Seraphis tripping down the stairs and having 5 gunshots.
And somehow shooting himself in the back of the head during the home invasion where nothing was stolen. And
in a country where, no guns.
What's wrong, Tori? Is it getting a little too close to home for you there, Yankee?
I mean, I'm 8:30, and I don't know when the folks are coming over. I think they're going to be possibly coming over for their barbecue. I just want to have a chance to get ready and make sure the house is kind of tidy before they arrive.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to do ribs on the pellet grill.
Nice, enjoy that.
I
Awesome.
don't eat ribs, but I'm sure it'll be tasty. I don't like ribs or like steak
Okay.
or.
Can I reach up on the high five on the ribs? I can't stand ribs. I don't know why people fucking love ribs so much. They're just sugary, fat, stringy meat, as far as I can tell.
I'm not fond of them. I don't eat ribs. I don't eat wings. I don't really eat steak either.
Whoa! You don't eat wings?
I don't eat any meat that's not like boneless, or I can't eat pieces of meat that still have fat and gristle in them.
Yeah, okay, that's nice, but you don't eat chicken wings? You're dead to me.
I mean, chicken wings have bone and gristle and all of that stuff on them.
So you can
So-
hold on to them.
Well, yeah, it's a trauma thing.
I'm fucking with you, Tori. Relax. It's okay. You don't have to justify yourself.
No,
You
Yeah,
know
well,
that 99% of the time, I'm fucking with you.
Okay, fair. I get defensive about it because I do get a lot of crap for it. Like, people kind of genuinely make fun of me for it, and they're like, "What? You don't eat steak? How in the world can you not like?" I'm like, "Well, it has like fat and stuff in it, and I can't handle that." And they give me crap about it, and it's a genuine trauma situation for me. So it's kind of like,
Tell them to go fuck themselves. Just be like, go fuck yourself, and then move on with your day.
I'll get a one of those easy buttons, but I'll record you saying that, and then I'll just press the button at them.
Exactly. Just be go fuck yourself. Like, there you go. That's all you need. If that's the one thing Gen X can give you younger generations, learn the power of 2 words. Whatever, which we brought into the common lexicon. It was our generation that made that popular. And 2, go fuck yourself. So you start with whatever. No, you don't eat me. Whatever. And then they continue. Me. Okay, how about go fuck yourself? Is that an option? Fuck off.
And then if you want to add Aussie to it, number 3 is
cunt on the end.
you cunt.
Yeah. All right. Well, it was fun. I'll catch you guys next time.
Bye,
Yeah,
Tori. I
Tori.
can't wait to see
Bye.
this prospering when it's finished. And then there were 3. But that's okay. Sax is on a timer. His wife's going to have him off doing something pretty soon, I'm sure.
Quite likely. We'll see what happens.
Well, I'll probably call it about then.
But
So
when
we've
I
got a little
leave,
bit more time.
That's how important you are, Sax. That's how important you are.
see, I would reevaluate my worth to this to these circles.
Well, to be fair, it's also midnight here, so I
Oh.
would be wrapping up pretty soon anyway. So
Understandable,
Yeah.
respectable, commendable. Please proceed.
Indefensible.
inconceivable.
Inconceivable.
Whoa,
It is an
whoa
award.
there.
I do not believe it means what you think it means.
No, that is way too expensive of a word for you, Seraphis. You take that back.
Oh.
But sexy.
He's saying
no,
you're
good job.
dumb.
No, I could make it worse.
Incontable. There you go. That's the word you should be using.
Sort this out later.
Oh dear. Still got another week until freaking school holidays is over, so that's fun.
How many weeks did they get?
2.
What's the break for?
I'm guessing Easter.
Term? No, just standard time for term.
So every term they get 2 weeks off at the end of the term?
Yep.
No wonder your education rate is plummeting.
It's always been like that.
Ugh.
10 weeks of school, 2 weeks.
Oh,
School
we
holidays.
have summer off, 2 months, and then we have a week at Christmas, and then a week in March, and that's it.
Yeah, doesn't that kind of equal the same amount of time then?
No, because there's 3 semesters. Well, yes, but it's spread out differently. It's not like 10 weeks, 10 weeks. Do you guys get summer vacation, or do they go to school during the summer too?
You mean the summer we just had?
Okay. The question is very direct and it requires a yes or no answer. Do you take the summer vacation between years? Like you finish year 6, take 2 months of summer, and then start year 7.
2 months of summer? No.
That's what we do here. Summer vacation.
No, we've
Kids
got.
can go out and have experiences in life and then come back to school with something to talk about.
Yeah, that's why we do 2 weeks between each term. So term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4.
Why not invest in summer in term camps where every time they're done their 2 weeks, you send them off to camp for 2 weeks?
Well, they do have a camp during the year, but that's for like what, year 3, year 4 when they're older. Mine's only in reception, dude.
Your country makes no sense.
That's how it was done for me.
No fucking sense.
And I know big words like cunt.
You do very big words for very big boys. God bless you, Sarah. God bless you. Somehow we still have 6 people watching this. That's insane.
Mine says 8, but it could be.
YouTube says 6, but I don't see the restream, so it could be 8. Yeah,
It could
YouTube
be.
says 6.
Well, then there might be 2 watching on Twitch.
Oh, you're streaming on Twitch. Hi, Twitch.
You're multi-streaming these days.
No,
Ooh,
I've always been doing it. It always streams to my Twitch channel as well.
Daring today.
Yeah, that's a den of iniquity.
There's probably a lot of people who are disappointed that there's not like feet stuff or we're not whispering into the microphone.
Well, go back to eating your chips. Talkin Drek, ASMR.
That's probably how we had 12 at the beginning.
Walking in Walmart and all I heard is "cunt" out loud. Well, that's what you get for listening on a speakerphone, dude. It's one of the things I had to avoid doing when I was outside in the world and living out there and going over to school was wanting to walk up and going, hey, you can get a set of headphones for that? So I don't have to listen to your shit, your conversation, your music, your movie, whatever the fuck it is you're doing on full blast in a public space.
You know what's funny about where I live, right? So the major city, right? Up north is always considered where like the bogans live, and down south is considered more richy stuff, right?
Okay.
And yet up north, people wear headphones and listen to their music quietly, but when you go down south, they're obnoxious motherfucking cunts. And it's like, I feel like there's something wrong with the perceived stereotype of, this state sometimes.
Every time you say like up north or down south, all I want to say is out where the river broke, the bloodwood and the desert oak. It's just like every time. I just don't know why I go to that fucking song.
Midnight Oil?
Yes.
Yeah. I had a feeling it was probably Midnight Oil, but I was kind of unsure because it could have been In Excess.
The western desert lives and breathes at 45 degrees. The dawn has come.
And a terrible politician he was.
Was he a politician after?
Yes, and he was terrible.
Oh, God, no. How bad was he?
I'm pretty sure he's not a politician anymore. That's how bad he was.
Yeah.
He got voted in on the novelty, and then people got sick of it very quickly. At least that's from what I know. Maybe in New South Wales it was different. What was that? I'm pretty sure he ran on Greens.
Yeah, it sounds like the kind of party he'd run for.
Peter Garrett. What was he? What party? Labour?
He looks like a fucking like a mutant. Peter Garrett, is that his name?
Yeah, Peter Garrett.
Yeah, he looks like a fucking Mad Max villain. Yeah, he was the Labour Party. He was the Environment Minister from 2007 2010.
Christ, I didn't know he was in that long. But yeah, Sydney, I'm not surprised. Fucking hate Sydney people.
Why, what's wrong with them?
They're very exposed to a lot of American media, which makes them kind of fucked in the head.
I wouldn't know about that living next door to them.
However, it's not nearly as bad as Victorians, who is where Murdoch based his media empire out of, which means that they are completely fucked.
Well, you know, the juice media, I had to stop watching their shit because I saw one. I'm like, oh, you're basically communists. Oh, okay, we're good. I don't care how clever your shit is. You're basically communists.
Yeah.
Yeah,
listen, I'm open to lots of ideas, lots of concepts, but communism, no fucking way.
No.
See, that wasn't the takeaway I took from them. I took away from them being I mean, I get the North American angle of them being communists, but there was another YouTuber who kind of phrased it right about how, like, what kind of message they push, and it's very influenced by socio-political agendas that don't really come from this country, basically. And it's like, that's fucking retarded. Like, they keep pushing the idea of, like, oh, you should vote in, like, you know, independents, the other minor parties, things like that in federal elections. And that sounds good on paper. And they always give a bunch of, oh, check out these people, blah, 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 teals, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, look, the astounding thing is that they never point people to go to the website how they voted. Because if you look at how they voted, they basically, like all these independents and teals and stuff that they point out that you should vote for, basically vote for Liberal. They basically vote for, like, you know, like the potato currently, right? He's like, oh, I'll be like supporting communities again and things like that. He is consistent since he came in 2003. He has consistently voted and been part of legislation that has cut funding to safe houses for victims of abuse. He's a former cop, and he was for cutting funding to safe houses for victims of abuse. He cut funding to programs to help youths who were growing up in violent communities. What kind of fucking cunt is he? By the way, in case you're wondering, this is Dutton. This fucking potato is a fucking idiot. And these people that the juice media basically points to vote for, basically vote for the liberal agenda. And it's like, fucking no. Like, I don't agree with everything Labor federal does, but in my state, Labor works really well. That's why we've kept them in. Federal Labor, yeah. Bob Hawke was cool. He always drank a beer. He has a beer named after him too. But it's just absolutely fucking insane that like.
Yeah, you wanna feel better about the world? Let's watch a short video of a guy who meets his Tinder date, and it's caught on ring cam, and she's 7 feet tall.
Oh, that one, yeah.
Sharing it if you want to share it, if you want to pop it up.
Loop.
All right, put the volume up.
My Ring doorbell just recorded this down the hallway.
It's Macy from Tinder. Aren't you David?
You just look different.
How?
I don't know. Look at the height difference. You're like 7 feet tall. No, Macy, I'm not saying that to be mean. It's just you didn't tell me that.
You don't want to go on a date because I'm tall?
No, I don't want to go on a date because I'm short.
You're not short.
You just had to lean down to be eye level with me.
You're not that short, though.
Look at this. I'm wearing Kanzuris.
What the hell are Kanzuris?
My shoes. This is how tall I actually am. Look at the difference.
Those are kind of dope, but
Well, they make me like 3 inches taller.
doing the Lord's work.
I don't care that you're tall.
I don't care that you're short.
So I am short. I'm you.
Just a little bit.
I'm 6 feet. I have to get on my tiptoes to do that. You want to go get coffee still or what?
I'm down.
Cold brew?
Lots of it.
I don't know if I can do this if you're going to get a latte.
What the you have against the hot man?
You want to drive or should we just get on your back? Probably get there fast.
You muted, Bear.
Sorry, that's wholesome level shit. I love that. That's great.
We do need things like that in our lives at times.
Mm-hmm. Jesus. And you know, he's 6 feet tall. She's 7 feet tall. Their kids are going to be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Hallway. Oh, Thrux, stop being a conspiracy theorist about everything. My God, man, it's a fucking fisheye lens on a ring cam. It's going to make things look weird. But we saw him jump to slap 5. Let's be honest now. Anyway. So, should I do the fantasy heroic or not, Sax?
Fantasy, what? The
Take the heroic engine and do a fantasy hack of it for a fantasy game.
Haven't you already done that, though?
Started, but I never finished. And because the problem is I was making different talents for the fantasy game, but I would have to use the same talents that are in heroic and then add specific fantasy ones as well. So that's balance all that out.
I'm trying to think. Because it's effectively you're just. I don't know if you will have to because you normally want like the fantasy to become a little bit more grittier, don't you?
I do, but I could see myself. Let's be honest. Yes, but at the same time, I'm not opposed to the idea of heroic fantasy. I like heroic fantasy.
That's fair enough.
I'm actually like a big fan of heroic fantasy.
All right.
You know what? Let's do it. Let's do it as a poll on the Patreon and see what people think.
Yeah, I'd definitely keep that on the Patreon. Because I know there can be some funny reactions on the backer kit every time you try to make it.
Oh, fuck backer kit. Dude, the only thing I'm posting on backer kit anymore moving forward is literally like, hey, here's an update. Fuck you. They are like so mean. I'm sorry. They are so fucking mean.
Oh, you want mean? You want mean? You should look at anything Catalyst Game Labs is doing going forward. People
Why?
are let's just say the BattleTech Mercenaries Kickstarter has not gone well, and Germans and Aussies are very displeased and are spamming their displeasure on every other Kickstarter that CGL are doing.
Well, let me ask you a question. I'm not saying this to be mean. Do I give a flying fuck what Germans and Aussies think?
Well, no, because you're Canadian. And
Exactly.
once the American currency, absolutely blows up, and their economy is worth shit, we can start trading with each other with,
Are you and actually I'll ask you this too, Saxis, because you live in the UK. Are either of you supporters of the concept of Kanzuk?
What's Kensuk?
So Kanzuk is this proposed idea, which is a really good one, where basically Canada, the UK, New Zealand, and Australia, as they're all
Right.
Commonwealth members,
Yep.
plus the other Commonwealth members can join in, create an international trading bloc, which puts us in every hemisphere, access to every ocean, etc., and we're free trade with each other, and then combine our power to trade out to others.
I don't. That
Overnight,
sounds
if this was agreed, Kanzuk would be the largest trading partner in the world.
Yeah.
We would literally define the world's economy within 5 years. We'd make the Chinese bricks look like a fucking giggle fest.
Yeah, that's always been interesting me, the bricks. But yeah, I'm not opposed to that, because I think at this point we need something better than the World Trade Organization. We need something better than what has currently been established. And I don't see a problem with more countries going around and saying, listen, we are going to take what we have historically kind of made. We're going to establish something from that. I mean, I know Scandinavia has done something similar for their North defense. I know Denmark has more or less sort of gone, hey, we're part of the European Union, the politics, but our money is then tied into the Scandinavian crown because we don't want to give up that part of it.
Okay.
Yes, in a long answer, yes, I'm not opposed to that idea. It makes sense.
I'm always up for our Commonwealth partnerships.
Yeah, I don't see what's bad having more trade. Like for certain countries to say, listen, we've got agreements, let's do this. I mean, that's the whole point of having international relationships, and you can reinforce that by saying we now have favorable tariffs and favorable trade agreements with each other.
The only thing I don't like is that the Poms can put their currency so much higher than the rest of us.
Who can put the currency higher?
The British.
The British.
Poms,
we call them
prisoners
Poms.
Yeah. All right. I don't well. I think this is for much more intelligent individuals than myself, but there definitely would have to be some form of agreement of when it comes to the value of the currencies involved, because you can definitely see that something like the pounds or the Canadian dollar, the likes, they'll just absolutely outstrip some of the others. So there would have to be an agreement of what the transaction level will be, because
there
that's
has
what
to be a unified currency for sure.
Oh yeah. But you can even just turn around and say now there is a currency that is used specifically between the three of us that is of this equivalence, to ensure that everyone's walking away with some form of benefit, or like a buffer currency. I mean that I know that's what more or less happened in Germany after the First World War. Transitioning over, they had to take their existing currency after the hyperinflation came through. They went, we just need to take out the current currency, dumb it down so it actually has a value, and then here we go. This is the new value that we are working with.
We should call it the Commonwealth Buck.
The buck?
Yes.
Now you're just being gay. The buck. I want some bucks. Give me your bucks.
Well, I am not opposed to that. But
yeah, I'm finding myself, the older I get, being more in favor of it.
Well, just trade is good, in my opinion, because everyone benefits from having a higher level of export. That's good for their economy. You do require imports to substitute, basically have the things that you don't have properly built up in your own country. So finding a decent balance is what you want.
True.
Like, for example, Brits want to come to Australia to see sunshine.
You know, Surface, I am just imagining a dark dystopian future inspired by Spaceballs, where rather than having green, clean oxygen in cans, you will just have, small flashlights that is just UV rays. People can go, oh yes, that's the vitamin D that I need. Oh yes. But it's highly illegal because it's heavily regulated by the Australian World Economic.
When we were kids and we used to play like Cowboys and we'd eventually do vampires would somehow get in there, right? And I remember people would be like, I have a sun lamp. And as kids, we'd be like, oh my God, that's like death. That's like a gun versus vampires. You can shoot sunlight at them. And then as an adult, learning what a sun lamp is, like, well, that's horseshit. that has nothing like what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
All right, hang on, Sax. I'm putting up a post right now. Hang on.
I'm hanging on as hard as I can to my table.
I don't think we can put up polls, though. I don't think I can add polls on... Oh, yeah, there it is. I can add a poll. Beautiful. Let's see if that works out.
Yeah. Because I know
Just remember to keep your polls off the stream. I don't want to get demonetized.
Listen, I'm here to put your poll in my bum. That'll be demonetization. I have no idea what that means. I just said it. And now I'm like, I don't know. That was a stupid thing to say.
Well,
there we go. It is the simplest fucking post I have ever made in my life. It's for paid members only. Goths, are you American? Because that sounds like how Americans see us. There we go. I've put up the poll, Saxius.
I feel the need to be like a nerd's nerd.
Do what?
Just right. I feel I'd like a third option.
Fuck off. Like, severely get fucked.
I can make comments on that, but I decide not to.
Well, we'll see how that works out. We'll see who jumps on that, who says yes, who says no. It'll be interesting. There's always going to be a no. There's always going to be a no, right?
Yeah.
There's always going to be someone who's be like, no. It's like, well, why don't you stop
That's all right.
being
They can say no. If it's a majority no, then there you go. Now it's it's a sign of, okay, this is not a target audience. If it is a minority no, then it's a, well, would you look at that? You are now in the minority. Here's your credibility for that, and now we will make the product despite your protests.
That's fair. That's fair.
There you go. Fantastic. I've given a bit of a read for this final age. I'm liking the setup for the races at the very least.
Oh, you're reading Final Age. Nice.
Yeah. No, yeah, I took it since it was posted up there.
I didn't realize I made a sale. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get it. Normally I get an email. So you've sold a copy of something. Nothing this time. I don't know why. But that's been a while now. I only get like weird updates on my drive-through sales. It's very strange. But I'm glad you bought it. Thanks. I like Final Age. I put a lot of work into it. Like a lot. Like that's nothing. That's scratching the surface of what Final Age is, you know?
Yeah. I like that you're also referring to like the Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master Guides for what needs to be referred to. So you've got that right. There's like good, nice morale, like that proficiency, like that injuries, like that flanking. Like I by default I use flanking. Like I cannot use a run D&D without having the flanking rules. It's like that is a must for me.
Did you see what I do with the Rangers for rests? You cannot You cannot take a rest in the wilderness in Final Age. You can't make camp and call it a rest. You can't, because you're constantly on guard for the threats of the scourge, right?
Yep.
But a ranger, and there it's early, it's 5th and 7th. I changed it in my version to 3rd and 5th. I think is the update. At 3rd level, rangers can take a rest in the wild so long as they're not hunting or being hunted, and at 5th level, they can do it for their party.
Mhm.
So suddenly, rangers are useful.
So that one is an interesting case, because that is one of the things from. I'm going to talk a bit of video games, but there's a video game called Pathfinder Kingmaker. It's also a what's it called, a module.
3.5 pound.
It's Pathfinder, but either way, one of the points is that if you are making camp, you need to like go through and like have people like once making food, once making sure that you're not being ambushed during the night, watches and so forth. That's nice, because that change right there will definitely mean that I might actually just take that outright for if I do another 5e game and say, listen, there's no long rests in the wilderness unless you have a ranger that can do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. And like the warding rules are a bit different. You can make so the whole idea of being in Final Age is if you are in a structure, you can ward all the entrances to protect yourself, and then it's basically the power of what's coming at you versus the DC of the wizard who created the wards, right?
Yep.
People were like, that's a little brutal, because when you're in the woods, you may not always find a structure or a cave or something like that. I said, that's fair. So then there was the idea of the portable ward, which is a ceramic disc that is warded and has a strength associated with what you buy it. And it may be a fucking fake. You'll find out the hard way. You can use that, put it as the center of your camp, but then you have to draw a ring of iron and salt for your perimeter to make the perimeter of this warded area. But again, it might have been a fake, and now you find out the hard way that kindly wizard you bought this ward from was actually a shyster who was just taking your gold and didn't give a fuck that you're going to die now and come back as the undead.
That sounds like a book that I read where the travelers would basically have to have these rope to get, like they would have rope, but between each between the like.
Go ahead.
But in this like piece of rope, they would have like wooden rectangles where they would draw in runes. So every time they had to make camp, they had to make camp within the diameter of this piece of rope, because that is what kept demons out. Because that made their
what
ward.
is this from?
I can't remember. I need to find the book again. But it was an entire setup of demons now rise from the ground every night, and you have to basically ward your houses to prevent them from coming in and attacking you. And the messengers would then be the people that would travel from village to village to village, and they sometimes couldn't get to a village, so they had to make do by having these like circles around them. But the danger is that they're not guaranteed to always work. There's a certain strength limitation. So if you've got a big demon bashing at it, you are risking like they might break through and you are done for. And
so I love that. I posted that fucking link and someone canceled their membership. Jesus Christ. That's hilarious. Too funny. Oh well.
People suck.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. But we're still above 400 a month, heading towards 500, so that's the goal.
That's good.
Yeah, here's the thing though. If I do heroic fantasy, it's only going to be for the $10 tier.
Fair.
Very fair.
That's fair.
Because I am not going to be held like anything extra beyond just the basic characters is $10 tier.
Yeah.
Basic character stuff, $5 tier can have that. If I do adventures, $5 tier can have that. Lore, $5 tier can have that. Access to the archive, $10 tier. The heroic handbook stuff, which is going to be higher res, PDFs, all that, heroic tier. Webcomic that I'm possibly doing with Rich, $10 tier. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, I need to incentivize people. Music, only the $10 tier.
Yeah.
Because I need to incentivize people to give me more fucking money.
No, like
I give
you pay
plenty
more-
for $5.
more than enough. Yeah. I'd even go so far as to say any modules that you make should be a part of the $10. Purely because the core basic of what you are getting off the Patreon, what, 5 characters a week? Not looking at the what we've currently been having with lore and characters. If we go back to that of like 5 characters a week, that's plenty. 5 lore pieces a week, that's plenty. Having that, at basis under the 5, great. If you then want it all consolidated for you as a part of the archives, have that a part of the 10. Want all the music as well, have that be a part of the 10. Any modules that's been made out, have that be a part of
So
the 10.
you think the lore should be 10 as well?
No, not lore. Modules, adventures.
What about the rules mechanics, the beta mechanics?
Oh, that's a good one. Actually, no, that is posing a good question. Because if we move the lore to 10, beta would still be something that's an engagement with the wider group of people that are paying for it. Because that's more of a, correct me if I'm wrong here, Bear, but that's you engaging with the people who have basically paid for the heroic and is a part of it to see what it is what they're liking. And if they can then take...
Not on the Patreon, no, the Patreon... So for the backer kit, I gave them all 1 free year, and less than 10% of them took advantage of that gift.
Yeah,
like it's ridiculous. I put up a shit ton of free memberships for them and said, here, if you guys are, if you can't spend the money or stuff like that, I get it. It's go ahead and do what you got to do and take it all like that, and that's all good and great. So the backer kit, I gave them a 2-month membership. 32 people took advantage of it. And then after the 2 months, I put up 410 free, because there's 410 backers, 3-month free. 12 people took advantage of it. So nothing I do on the Patreon is for the backers, from the backer kit. Everything I do on the Patreon is for the patrons only.
All right.
The two aren't going to cross-pollinate.
All right, that's fair.
So based on that, what do you have to say?
Well, so I think lore, I'd keep that at the 5.
So lore and characters at the 5, beta mechanics. I don't do them often, to be honest.
No. See, I'm almost on the opinion of swap the lore and the beta mechanics around, make the lore 10. Because again, that incentivizes people to go higher, but it also expands out on the scene of universe for you to then have it, and you've got a bigger reason to actually get the $10 membership and the archives, because I consolidate all of that into one document that you then get. Yeah. So I'd almost say swap those around, because I think most people have already said, the amount of characters that are being provided at the $5 tier is already worth it. I'd say move some of it up to make it a $10, so that again the lore expansion is 10. The basic the beta mechanics are moved down to being a $5 tier, because again it's a here and there thing. Whenever you run into something or you've come up with an idea of you want to test, then that can be made into that. Because sparsely it is not something that really sort of jumps out and goes like, hey, this is $10 worth. But I'd say things like Queen City, for how much you build on that, great, fantastic. Union City, I'm trying to think of some of the others. One here, you've also got the single page, a couple of pages on Bay City, and then you've got all the stuff that was originally in the player's handout for Capital City, which is huge. So yeah. Like I'd move that to the $10 tier.
Interesting. I'm gonna think about it.
Just have a review of it.
I just got to get that thing making money, dude. Like it's such a fucking headache trying to get it. Like finally got it past the 300. That was an accomplishment. Then we got it to 400. Like holy fuck, finally, And now we're down. We're one more cancellation, and we dip underneath 400 again. I'm like, fuck,
Mm-hmm.
But I need to get it up. to 500. So if I were to have 10 new $10 fucking pledges, people come in for $10 a month, boom, goal achieved, money secured to continue working on Heroic without a problem every month, paying for art and layout and eventually the print on demand stuff. It'll be great.
Mm-hmm.
But it's always these hiccups, these weird jumps you got to deal with, which is why I insist on constantly giving material, because I don't want anyone to cancel because they're not getting something for their money, right? Like I don't want people just to give me their money if I can avoid it. I would prefer they get something for giving me their money, you know?
I agree. Makes perfect sense.
Well, I think we'll wrap
Sure.
there.
Okay.
Okay. So,
So
I'm thinking of how to end the stream
Abruptly.
abruptly. Well, wouldn't that be annoying, though?
Well, I actually had to go back onto the stream to see whether you'd done it.
yeah, exactly. We don't
Well, I
trust
mean-
you.